Real Exam English, Season 5, Space. Hello and welcome to the Real Exam English podcast. This episode is about space. Okay, it's not the most common exam topic ever, but it is a very interesting subject and a lot of people are really enthusiastic about it. As you're going to hear, we have quite a few space fans speaking today. So there's plenty of space vocabulary, lots of adjectives, some phrasal verbs, and a wide variety of accents, including quite a funny conversation between two Welsh ladies that is sure to test your listening skills. As usual, you can find the transcripts for this and all episodes over on the Real Exam English website, realexamenglish.com, and there is a link in the show notes too. Okay then, let's start off with our first speaker from Canada. Do you find astronomy interesting?
Absolutely. I love astronomy. Anything to do with the night sky and stars, I'm a big fan of. Absolutely. We've lost touch with it. Societies have lost touch with it. Our cities have a lot of light pollution, and we don't see the night sky. But and that's a relatively modern thing. Humanity has been in touch with the night sky. It was there. It was their Instagram. It was their social media. It was their entertainment. I would say, as humanity, for thousands upon thousands of years, ever since we've been able to walk on two legs and observe. It's been our theater, our movies, And I mean, ancient peoples were much more in tune with it. They developed constellations, and the constellations have been very similar throughout history in different periods of time, like in South America, North America, Egypt. Like, it's interesting how, like, Stonehenge, in Britain, how that was developed towards, the winter and the summer solstice. And there's, at the same time, the Aztecs had the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, astronomy, I think it's something that we've lost touch with. The average person has lost touch with, but I think, and it also can humble you when you look up there, and all your problems mean nothing when you look up at that night sky and you say, well, what are we really? We're nothing, we are everything, but we're nothing at the same time. When you look up, it humbles you and makes you realize that, I guess, that you'll be gone in a blip, and life and the universe will continue.
Great answer there to start off. We had some useful space vocabulary with the night sky and stars and how they are affected by light pollution, which is the brightening of the night sky with man-made lights, like street lights, for example. Then we had the constellations, which are these groups of stars that form a particular pattern and are often given mythical names like Orion. We had the winter and summer solstice, which are the shortest and longest days of the year. He said that different ancient peoples used to be more in touch with these, or as he said, they were more in tune with these. If you are in tune with something, then you understand it and know how it works. For example, the teacher was in tune with the students and knew when to push them a bit more and when to ease off. It's interesting that he said peoples in the plural too, right? You can use peoples in this way when you are speaking of different civilizations, like the Aztecs or the Persians or the Celts or whatever. These are all ancient peoples. Another great word was humble. He said it can humble you to look up at the stars. If something humbles you, then it makes you feel not as important or as special as you thought you were. Like, I thought I was great at tennis, but was humbled by my defeat to my teenage neighbor. Do you find astronomy interesting?
Extremely. I studied physics and astronomy for my undergraduate degree. I did some astronomy research during my undergraduate as well, in Melbourne, about Mars and the possible Mars trips that we could be taking, and the viability, and if it's real or not, or if it's possible. Astronomy is fascinating. I think everybody should have some time reading and learning about astronomy, because it's probably one of the most humbling things a human can ever learn about or undertake. And I think there's a certain element of I think anyone who's been to the desert or somewhere far away or outside of the city and they've seen the Milky Way or they've seen Saturn or they've seen Venus clearly or something, I think anybody who's done that will tell you how it sort of hits a almost caveman part of your brain that nothing else can. So I think it's a very special thing.
Okay, so this speaker studied astronomy for his undergraduate degree. This is usually the first degree that you study in university before you start doing masters or postgraduate degrees. He said he studied the viability of humans going to Mars. The viability is how likely it is to be successful. He then said studying astronomy is one of the most humbling things a person can learn about. This word humble again. In this case, it's the adjective form humbling, one of the most humbling things. I've got to point out too that he mentioned the Milky Way, which is another name for our galaxy, seen as a white strip across the sky at night. People often find it funny to hear this in a different language other than their own, the Milky Way. Undertake was another lovely word he used. Learning astronomy is one of the most humbling things you can undertake. We use undertake when we begin to do something, especially something that might be long or hard. Like, I've undertaken to read all of Shakespeare's works this year. Or preparing for the C2 exam is one of the most difficult things I've ever undertaken. Very appropriate sentence. Do you find astronomy interesting?
I love space. I love galaxies. My favourite colour is the galaxy bluey purple. That's what my wallpaper is. And I was kind of bullied for everything as a kid, so I hid most of it. But now it's like I like galaxies, I like space, and my piano students love coming to my studio and seeing the funky wallpaper. And I wear leggings. I'm known for my leggings as well, so I've got quite a lot of galaxy-themed space leggings as well. So yeah, I could say I like space.
Okay, let me see. I'll have to ask you some more space questions. So how would you feel if you travelled in outer space?
I'm not really up for that, though, because I don't travel very well. If I can drive somewhere, I'm fine, but anything beyond driving, so I don't like buses, I don't like trains, I don't like airplanes, you know. I can just about put up with a ferry, but you can't get a ferry to the moon. So, you know, I'm not really up for space travel itself. I prefer to watch it from a distance from a telescope.
What is your favourite space movie or TV show, and how realistic is it?
So, as a thing, musicians don't tend to be big on films. So my film knowledge is virtually nothing. But I do like certain music. So, for example, I like the Star Wars music, but I don't really watch Star Wars. And I like Star Trek, but I don't like watching Star Trek. Well, my husband's a big fan of Star Trek, but I'm not. But I appreciate the music. I like any films that have good music, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what the film was about either, because I'm on the music. So sci-fi films, probably my favourite one is The Day After Tomorrow, because it had a young Jake Gyllenhaal in it. And I always remember that one because I did a presentation on it in second year at university.
All right, another space fan there. Her favourite colour is galaxy blue purple. I must confess that I didn't know that this was a specific colour, and she has lots of galaxy-themed space leggings. Again, something I didn't know existed. However, she wouldn't really like to travel to space. As she said, I wouldn't really be up for that though. Okay, so being up for something means you are willing to try it or do it. Like, hey, would you be up for going for a hike at the weekend? Or, I'm not up for going out tonight. I feel tired. She then had another phrasal verb with up. I can just about put up with the ferry, meaning she can tolerate it or accept it. Just. This phrasal verb is pretty common in English exams, so it's a good one to know. Other examples would be, I can't put up with the noise from my neighbours anymore, I'm going to kill them. Or, I find it difficult to put up with the heat in Spain in the summer, it's just too hot. Lastly, she said, as a thing, musicians don't tend to be big on films. When she says as a thing, she means as a rule or usually. So, as a thing, musicians don't tend to be big on films. We can use this verb tend to for talking about behavior or characteristics or things that people have. Like astronauts tend to be brave, or rockets tend to be expensive. And musicians tend not to be big on films, means musicians are not really interested in films. Another example would be, I'm not big on coffee. I prefer tea. Alrighty, so for our language break this time, we're going to take a look at extreme adjectives. Okay, so a regular adjective is something like good. Then the extreme adjective for good would be great, fantastic, wonderful, something like that. The extreme adjective of tired is exhausted or knackered in the UK. Okay, so I'll give you 10 regular adjectives and I'll leave you a space to say the extreme adjective. I'll give you a few possible answers then as well. Okay, here we go. Bad, terrible, awful, angry, furious, livid, cold, freezing, happy, delighted, thrilled, elated, interesting, fascinating, captivating, engrossing, surprised, astonished, amazed, taken aback, clean, spotless, pristine, scared, terrified, petrified, funny, hilarious, priceless, expensive, exorbitant, extortionate. Tough one there at the end. Okay, there are more answers than those possible as well. Let me know how you did on Spotify or on social media. These types of adjectives are really important for things like describing photos or for any descriptive writing, like a review or an article. So make your own list and try to practice them. Okay, back to the questions with a speaker from Australia. How would you feel if you travelled in outer space?
I was just talking about this last night. I really, really want to go to space. I would pay so much money to go to space, get on a rocket and go. I'd be very excited. And I don't know how I'd feel if I was up there, but I'd guess I would probably be in awe. I think people say they feel really connected to the rest of the world, even though they're out in space. Just seeing them all on one big marble, you know. So, yeah, I'd be stoked.
What is your favourite space movie or TV show? And how realistic is it?
Even though I really like the science of space, I don't like that many space movies. I quite like the Guardians of the Galaxy series. I don't really like any other Marvel movies, but Guardians of the Galaxy was great. It's really pretty. All the characters are really distinct. The stories are also quite distinct as well. It's not just good guy killed bad guy and I'm wearing a cape. It's a little bit different, a little bit deeper and funner, a bit more unique. So yeah, I'd say the Guardians of the Galaxy series.
Another big space fan. Wow. He said he would be in awe if he went to space. If you are in awe of something, then you have great respect for it, or maybe even surprised or a bit afraid of it. For instance, he was in awe of the company boss and would do whatever he told him. Or, I'm in awe of someone who passed their C1 exam. He said he would be so excited to go to space, and also that he would be stoked, which is quite an Australian adjective. Well, Australian and the US, it's the kind of adjective a surfer would use, or maybe a musician. Like, hey, we're stoked to be playing at the music festival this year. In the second answer, he had a bunch of adjectives too. He said the movie Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty and distinct, also different, unique, and funner. This last one, funner, is not actually a correct word in English. The comparative of fun is more fun, right? Like football is more fun than walking. Okay, overall though, super answers, as he had a good variety of language, and he also used even though very well in both answers. Even though I like space, I don't like space movies. And the answers were interesting, which makes them seem much better, right? Okay, so speaking of interesting answers, next up we have our two ladies from Wales having a chat with each other. You may find this challenging to follow, but this is how people really chat with each other, so it's excellent practice for you. And also, they are just really funny. They crack me up anyway. Remember, if you can't follow the audio, then check out the transcript, which has all of the conversation, in addition to some useful grammar and vocabulary exercises. And that's on the Real Exam English webpage.
How would you feel if you travelled in outer space?
Absolutely fucking terrified. Absolutely terrified. Sorry. Sorry, Trevor. Absolutely terrified. I do not want to do that. It's have you seen the amount of people that have lost in space lately?
And monkeys?
Yeah, there are too many people in space.
No, thank you.
Just
no.
lost. There's a couple up there now that are just waiting. They're not coming back till next year.
That's ridiculous.
I don't want that. I don't like confined spaces. I want somewhere I can breathe air, not...
There's absolutely no way I could do it.
No.
No, and there's just too much unpredictability. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing.
No.
No one does.
I don't trust technology enough.
No.
What skills or strengths should an astronaut have?
They'd have to have excellent self-discipline and strength of mind. Like
to be okay on your
meditation.
own.
Yeah, and also to be okay with the thought of potentially spending eternity floating in the ether.
Yeah.
With no control over anything, and you just have to just die like that.
Wait there, yeah. Or you might go back and your country is no longer there, like that guy that left the USSR and then returned. There was no USSR.
Literally anything could happen.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's absolutely absurd.
Oh, so good. We spoke earlier about extreme adjectives. Well, in the first answer here, we had some very extreme language. The extreme adjective for scared is terrified. And if you want to intensify that, you can add an adverb, absolutely terrified. And if you want to intensify that, you can add fucking, absolutely fucking terrified. Okay, so they apologize for using bad words in the answer. And of course, don't use this in an exam situation. But telling a story to your friends, go for it. They also had absolutely absurd, another great adjective meaning ridiculous or ludicrous. This last question was, what skills and strengths should an astronaut have? They said excellent self-discipline and strength of mind. Lovely vocabulary. Strength of mind means mental toughness or fortitude. They said you need this if you are spending eternity floating in the ether. The ether is another way of saying the sky or the air, or I guess space in this context. Other skills they could have mentioned would be communication skills, problem solving, adaptability, teamwork, and just bravery, really, right? Okay, brave listeners, that's all we have time for today. If you have got this far in the podcast, you've shown great strength of mind, and you should be stoked with yourself. Hopefully you're a bit more in tune now with the night sky and the vocabulary needed to talk about it. It's an absolutely fascinating topic. Okay, thanks very much for listening, and thanks to everyone who has given feedback on Spotify, Instagram, or elsewhere. I really appreciate it. Catch you next time. Trevor.